Hey there, welcome to A Healthy Conversation. You've been invited into our home, well, into our kitchen, because here's where we sit a lot of times talking about health. And we're going to have you be in on this conversation. We promised last week when we talked about John's joint pain and how you relieve that with MSM, chondroitin glucosamine, and fish oil,
Yep.
that we would follow up by talking to you, because so many of you have asked, what do I do if I don't have joint pain but I just have pain? And somewhere in the mix of our conversation, we're going to talk about how I like things to happen.
Yesterday? Yeah.
Well, you know, or the day before.
The day before yesterday,
sometimes.
closer to it.
Yeah. So, okay, the recap. You had joint pain.
Knee pain gave me a lot of problems.
Yep.
Over the last 30 years. The three things I took basically to get rid of it
Yep.
was glucosamine and chondroitin was the first one.
Yeah, got it.
MSM was the second one.
Yep.
Fish oil, or omega-3s as they're called, was the third one.
And what you did is you took all three of
them.
these all day long for a few days, and you can go back. All of these episodes of A Healthy Conversation are archived, so you can go back to get all the details that we talked about
Sure.
there. But what I wanted to talk about, which, okay, now again, this is going to be very candid, because these are the conversations you and I have that we kind of go around about. Because you'll say, well, it's got to be this, and I'll go, well, no, it isn't that for this person I know, and it isn't that for me, and it isn't this. Yeah,
It's not a universal fix, I guess is probably it.
So if a person were to say to us the question that we hear over dinner a lot, well, I'm just hurting, I ache. I don't have joint pain, but I ache. What's the first thing that you tell?
First thing that comes to mind are statin drugs for lowering cholesterol. There is more negative things that come out of these statin drugs. They're underreported side effects, muscle aches and pains. And I usually tell my customers, go see your doctor, see if you can get off these things. Maybe get into doing something else, because your heart is also a muscle, so if it's affecting your muscles in a negative way, it's affecting your heart in a negative way as well.
So, now listen closely, because again, this is how these conversations go with us. I'll go, well, not everybody's on statin drugs. What if somebody's still hurting, still aching?
Well, the big issue that we all have, and they say this is what's causing so many of the problems that we have in this country, is excessive inflammation. Now, inflammation is your body's response to basically an infection or an injury. If I
You know, that word is a word that you and I have
wrestled with,
because I think everybody really understands if they get a cut right here on their hand, we all know how it gets really red, scabs over, sometimes it's itchy, right?
Sure.
That's everything rushing to that place.
That's good inflammation.
Okay.
If I have an infected tooth, what happens? It blows up. So that's good inflammation.
Go in
because
there
it's trying
to
heal
repair it.
Exactly.
But the other kind of inflammation is if I get achy somewhere in my body, what we need to remember, and this really did, once he finally got this through to me, this made a difference. If I'm achy somewhere in my body, the same theory applies. Something's going on in that spot.
We're doing
right?
something, and most of the time it's lifestyle that has something to do with that. And what they're finding that most of it has to do with the bad fats that we're eating today, the trans fats, the hydrogenated fats, which are very inflammatory fats.
So, inflammatory. If I'm hurting, if I got achy legs, right, you're saying, okay, something's going on, and your body is going into repair mode inside, which is why you have pain, throbbing, kind of like we can relate to around our teeth, right?
Right.
So that inflammation is something that's got to be treated. So let's go back now. MSM, fish oil, chondroitin glucosamine. Do I need to take, if I have just achiness, or again, people just kind of feel like flu-like sometimes, do they need to take all three? What would you say?
I usually start people off on the thing that's probably the easiest and the least expensive one, which is MSM, which is organic sulfur, which is a very abundant mineral in our bodies. It's good for connective tissue, hair, skin, and nails, so it really helps your hair, skin, and nails repair. But it's a great anti-inflammatory.
And would we tell our friend here what you tell me, and that's three times a day for a while until it subsides?
Usually a good therapeutic dosing is, I start them off at about 3 a day, and they're 1,000 milligram capsules. And you could take 3 to 6 as a nice starting point.
Three times a day, or 3 times a day?
Take 3 a couple times a day. So anywhere from about 6 to about 9 of them a day. And it sounds like an awful lot, but it's
Yeah, but here's where I'll say it really does work. With me, it's been anything from like when I would run, same thing as
Sure.
you, a knee pain, but then just it'll help the inflammation subside. It really does.
cuts
Now,
it down dramatically.
I think this is the supplement education. I think what we want to do on our next episode is talk about the foods. Let's talk about those fats. Let's talk about that kind of stuff. And what I love about the MSM thing is that the result is quick. It happens quick. It's not
Quick even for you.
quick even for me. So as you've picked up, I'm sure he's a little bit more the patient one. I'm a little bit more the ramrodder, which is why this marriage works very well. Why I'm crazy about you.
Amen. Right back at you.
All right, we'll see you guys next episode. Go to DonnaKrechStore.com. The MSM that John has talked about is at DonnaKrechStore.com. And if you have questions, get them to us. We'll feature them right here.